What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today what I'm going to be working on doing is getting my door handles pulled off of my 2020 for my LED door handle switchbacks. So basically, if you guys aren't aware, basically within the door handles here, there'll be lights, and at night they'll be lit up white, and then when you put on your blinkers, they'll be tied into those as well, and they will project yellow when the blinker comes on. Same thing with the mirrors. And when I had my door panels off for my mirrors, I never really looked to see how the door handles were in there. So basically it's the same process. What we'll be doing is taking off the door panel and seeing what's in there to hold these actual door handles in. I'm not exactly sure, like I said, how bad they're in there. Nothing on these trucks is ever easy, so I'm not expecting it to be the easiest job in the world, because getting these door panels off are a real pain. But without further ado, let's get this door open. We'll start working on getting the door panels off to get the door handles off. So the reason why I'm working on getting these door handles off first is because to get these door handles built, I believe it's about 8 to 10 weeks currently. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get them pulled off, sent, shipped, built, and sent back. So to allow my time frame, I want to get these sent off ASAP. So what you want to do is start by taking this trim piece off. I already went ahead and did this. Then there's bolts in here. There's 1, 2. Then down here there's 3 and 4. Once you get these all taken out, what you want to do is work on prying the door panel back. I believe these bolts are 7 or 8 millimeter. Don't hold me to it. It's one of those two. But what I work on doing now is getting my fingers down in here. Right down here is a good place to grab. As you can see right down here, you can grab it. What you want to do is pull the door panel off and then pull it up. If you have window tint, be careful that you don't push the panel into the window tint and scratch it. Also be aware of the little actuator here that tells you whether the door is unlocked or locked. And then we'll expose what's behind here to see what's holding door panels in place, or not the door panels, the door handles in place. Alright, so right now what I'm going to work on doing is getting the door panel popped off. It's going to make a bunch of terrifying noises, so don't be afraid. That's what it's going to do. So, like I said, it's a real pain to get it started at first, because it's really held in here good. So, let me try the corner. Yep, there it is. So you just want to work your way around, get it popped off all the way. Like I said, it's going to make a bunch of deadly, terrifying noises. Don't be afraid. They don't sound the best, and you really got to pry on these to get them off. So, keep going on there. Back over in here, you want to stick your hand behind the door and pull, because there's a couple stuck in there. Also, too, up in the corner here. So that's what I'm working on doing now. Off camera, so I don't rush it. But like I said, really got to pull on it. Start on the corner, makes life easy, and then go from there. So then when you get it fully popped off, there, right down in there, there's that one big sensor right there. What you just want to do is unplug that, and that will allow you access to take this off. Plus, right up in here for the door handle release, there's that one little wire. Just go ahead, take that off, and then you'll be in good shape, and you'll have your door panel off. Alright, so after playing around with this for a couple minutes, I came to realize that you do not have to pull the door panel off. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, and I'm learning as I go. I gotta take my mirrors back off, so my door panels had to come back off. The good part is, I was kind of worried about on the back doors here, taking the door panels off, because half the time you take these door panels off, they never want to go back on like they were factory. You always end up having some type of rattle. These ones, I ended up playing with multiple times to get the rattling out of them. I did have a rattle from the factory, but after playing around with them, I had 0 rattle. So I was kind of worried about taking all 4 door panels off, because I was like, man, I'm going to be fighting these for a while to get them right. But the good part is, I realized that after I kind of pulled this back here, I realized there was nothing here. I came around to here and realized there's this little plastic cap right here. So now I'm going to get like a little pry tool, work on getting this cap off. Then I believe through there, that's how you get the door handles off, and you don't even have to take the door panel off, so keep that in mind. I believe it is all right through here, so I'm going to go ahead, pop this off, and see what kind of bolt is behind here holding us in, and hopefully that will release the door handles. Now that I got that off, if you can see in there, there's like a T something. It's either a T15 or T20. I'm going to work on getting that out now. and we'll see how this door handle assembly is going to come out. Like I said, that's the only thing I could see holding the door handles in, because that goes directly to the door handle. I pulled this back, I saw nothing behind there, so then I saw that, and I assume in some way that has something to do with the door handle, but we're going to find out here shortly. Alright, so I was kind of stumped on this for a second. I ended up calling one of my good buddies that actually done a set of these before, and he told me exactly what to do. So what you want to do is go ahead here, open the door fully, pull on the door handle out like this, and with the other hand, loosen this T20 up until you start to feel some type of resistance. Once you do that, this whole assembly here should come out. So I only have 2 hands. I got to hold that out with one hand, twist this with the other, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then at the end, when this is loose, I'll show you guys how this is going to pull out here, because I'm just as curious as you guys are on how this is going to pull out here. Okay, so as I was loosening that T20, as you can see, the door handle came out. A little tip is you don't have to really yank on this with a lot of force. I discovered that. So as you're basically pulling on this, basically right when that T20 releases, this is just going to slide out. Now I assume that this will just pull out like that. Like I said, you do not need a lot of force here. And then this should just pull out. I'm going to take my other hand and do this carefully because I do not want to break these. And then over here on this, you just got to take a little plastic pry tool and work on prying this out of here. And then that'll be about it. I assume there's some type of wire in here because I do have this button here. So I got to see how that wire is going to disconnect here shortly. So keep this in mind. I was wrong. Since I have the button for the keyless entry right here on the outside, you do in fact have to pull the door panel. So I was right in the fact that you have to pull the door panel. That kind of sucks. I was hoping I didn't have to pull all 4 door panels, but that's not the case. I also went ahead and put the window down here so you can get a better view of inside here of everything going on, but the problem is the glass from the window, which is right here. It took me a minute to discover what it was because I'm not thinking, is the glass. So you have to have the window up. Then once you put the window up, it will expose the connector for the power door option there. So I'm going to go ahead right now, roll the window up, get that disconnected, and then we'll work on getting this next piece right here pulled out. Got the window up, and as you can see now, the connector that I have to disconnect is right here. You do have to pull this back here. I guess it's sound deadening, but the problem is GM uses silicone, so as you pull it, you just want to take a knife like this. If I get it into focus, and just kind of pull back and just cut it as you go. I'm going to re-silicone it, scrape all this off when I put it back together, but it's just a little, let me grab my flashlight right here. It's just a little red locking tab on there. I'm going to go ahead, pull that locking tab out. It's just like every other locking tab on these trucks, and then I'll see what button you have to push, and that should allow us access to just go out on the outside and just pull that straight through now that that wire's not holding us up. Now I got the red tab released. Right in here, you just want to push up on that right there, just like that, if the light stays shining, just like that, and then 2 hands pull that out, and then we'll work on going around and pulling the door handle out. And now that we'll have that out, just got to work on getting this little chrome piece off, and that'll be about it. Kind of turned into a little bit bigger of a project than I thought, but with all these new electronics and stuff, everything's always a project, because on older gen trucks, you probably wouldn't have to pull the door handle off, or if you have like a lower model truck, such as a work truck, you're not going to have this wire running up to it there, and you won't have to pull the door panel. It's just me that I have a Denali, and I have every feature available. I'm running into more problems, so let me go ahead here now, get this the rest of the way off, and we'll keep chugging along here. Now that I have it out, just so you guys know, this piece here that you want to push, it is a pain. You cannot get it with your fingers. You kind of have to take like a screwdriver. Let me get this out of the way. And then go like this and push this up as far as you can go. Be careful because these wires are thin. I was kind of pulling on it because I was pushing it with my finger. It would not go all the way up. Took a little screwdriver, pushed it all the way up, and it came right out. Now let's pull the door handle out. So now that that wire is disconnected, it should honestly just go like this. Carefully so you don't chip your paint. And then just like that, that comes out of there. You really don't have to man it around or really force it out. It'll just come out on its own. So now that we got that out, I'm going to thoroughly examine this to see how we're going to go ahead and get this out here. I'm sure you're just going to take a little pry tool, put in here, and it'll pop right out. But like I said, I'm not in a rush or anything like that, and I don't want to break it. So I'm going to examine it real quick, and see the best way of getting this pulled out of here. Finally got the chrome piece off here without breaking anything. As you can see, it's all intact. One thing that I realized was after I was done backing the T20 out for the door handle, I stopped. Apparently this screw holds this piece in as well, so I went ahead, took a few more turns off of it. I didn't go crazy, I just did a couple more turns, and then I kind of just pulled on this and it came right out. So like I said, really examine it after I saw I was pulling on it and just released here, it wasn't coming. I took a couple more turns out and then it popped right out. So now what I want to do is come up with a way to jam this. I'm probably going to put like a piece of tape over this here so I cannot close the door, because it's going to be a pain in the rear to, I assume, reopen this after that's already out, and I don't want to mess up the mechanism. So I'm going to take something here, jam it in here so I cannot close the door physically, just enough to close the door so I can walk by the truck and stuff like that without the door being wide open like that. But other than that, that's how you take the door handles off. Turned into a little bit bigger of a job than I thought, but at the end, it wasn't so bad. The other doors should go a lot easier. I probably have a couple hours into this door figuring it out, but I should be able to fly through the next few doors here and get the rest of them off. If you guys are looking for something to do, what I did was took some of this Gorilla Tape. I made a big square on the lock here. I tested it on the back door just to be safe, so I wouldn't close that door and I'd be screwed. So, like I said, and then you can just close the doors. That's all you gotta close it. That's all I'm out to get. It's just enough to close it like that. So the doors are closed and you can walk by the truck and they're not wide open like this. So like I said, just take some Gorilla Tape, go around it like that. I made it pretty thick just in case someone tries to accidentally close it, it won't close. You don't have to go this thick, but just keep that in mind if you're storing your truck and it's going to be down for the count for a while. That's all you got to do to prevent the door from closing. Alright, so that's about it for this video, guys. Taking those door handles off was a lot more of a pain than I thought. I thought it was just going to be a couple screws, take them off, but that's not the case with these newer trucks and all the electronics. Total pain in the butt. I tried looking on some forums and stuff on how to get them off. No one really had a good video on how to do it, so I was kind of going into this blind. I had no idea what I was doing, so take some of the tips and tricks that I showed on how to get them off and use them to your advantage. But if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a big thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Stop this conversation. We got no